Some damage from climate change cannot be undone. The planet is warming, the sea level is rising, the frequency and magnitude of natural disasters are increasing. We need to adapt to these physical risks. We also need to adapt to transition risks. Carbon-intensive industries will shrink, workers and capital will need to be reallocated, some may get stranded. Financial stability can be at risk too. Dealing with these risks is key to climate action success. Despite the transition risks, climate change mitigation is necessary. Adaptation becomes prohibitively expensive as we move up the ladder of projected average global temperatures. And if we go about 2 degrees Celsius and trigger the chain of catastrophic risks, it would be virtually impossible to adapt without a drastic drop in our welfare. The good news is that there are many policies that help both mitigation and adaptation. In the financial sector, disclosure and prudential regulation of climate risks helps steer investors to green assets and induces them to accumulate adequate capital buffers. Restored wetlands and forests serve as carbon sinks and absorb storm surges and smooth wind and temperature fluctuations. Decentralized solar power and storage emit zero greenhouse gases and provide uninterrupted electricity supply in times when electricity grids are damaged by natural disasters. Many mitigation policy instruments are applicable and in fact essential for the adaptation. Individuals and businesses are often uninformed of climate risks. When the risk hits, their coordination and cooperation are essential. Investing in adaptation is in their own private interest, but those who underinvest may inflict damage on others. A storm-resistant house may withstand strong winds, but not a non-fortified house falling on it. So government policies are crucial to scale up the adaptation. To build resilience and adapt to climate change, governments should focus on 2 broad objectives. The first is to enhance society's ability to smooth the immediate impact of climate shocks and to transform structurally. If a hurricane destroys fisheries or tourism infrastructure on a coast, those involved need to be able to start fresh. The role of governments is to minimize the burden of such structural transformations by properly regulating product markets, promoting financial inclusion, supporting entrepreneurship, and helping displaced workers retrain and find new jobs. Equally important is to have policies and resources in place to minimize the initial impacts of a climate shock, by maintaining sufficient fiscal buffers and adequate social safety nets, and providing opportunities for insurance. The second objective is to reduce exposure and vulnerability to climate shocks. Helping victims of a hurricane is paramount, but they may need less help if their houses are hurricane-proof, hurricane warnings come well in advance, and there is clearly communicated evacuation plan. The key policies are providing information, for example early warning systems for natural disasters, encouraging and mandating private investment in resilience, and public investment in resilient infrastructure. These policy measures would help us adapt to climate change and minimize its impact on our well-being.